Hi, I'm Ali from Runner's World, and this is my review of the New Balance FuelCell SC Elite version 5. Now, where do we even start with the SC Elite? I feel like this is a racing shoe that has had a pretty big identity crisis over the last few years. If you just look at the past couple of iterations, you can see how much they have changed from one version to another. So if you think back to 2021, we had the RC Elite version 2. That was what the SC Elite used to be called. Now that had an 8mm heel-to-toe drop. 2 years later, in 2023, we then had the SC Elite version 3. Now this was a complete change once again, and we then had a 4mm drop. Now the SC Elite version 3 was my first experience of the SC Elite line. And though it was, a bouncy, fun ride, it just had nowhere near that sort of propulsion that other super shoes at the time had. I think in many ways it sort of felt quite like a training shoe. And, I think actually looking back, that's what a lot of people use this for. It's sort of perhaps comparable now to a lot of sort of modern day 2025 super trainers. And I think New Balance were very aware of this as a brand. I actually visited New Balance's HQ in Boston at the back end of 2023. That was just before the launch of the SC Elite version 4. And the brand actually said that, they were aware lots of people felt like the SC Elite version 3 was a very accommodating super shoe, but they didn't want to be an accommodating super shoe. So they launched the SC Elite version 4 at the start of 2024. And again, the SC Elite version 4 was a complete transformation. That sort of started with the midsole. We had a 100% PIBA midsole this time around. We also had a completely new upper. The brand changed to their Phantom Fit upper, which is sort of a heat-bonded mesh film. A lot to like about the SC Elite version 4, but definitely a completely different shoe to the SC Elite version 3. And the SC Elite version 4 wasn't perfect. A lot of people did have problems with this back end here, a slight lack of padding around the heel collar. I know quite a few Achilles torn up in the process of half marathons or marathons with these. So all in all, a lot that the brand could have improved on with the version 5. And it's actually quite funny because I think even though the brand wanted to move away from this idea of being an accommodating shoe, if you actually compare the new SC Elite version 5 to the SC Elite version 4, I think you can see how much more accommodating the older shoe is. You've got a much wider, more stable base on this one versus this sort of new, more agile, nimble profile. So moving on to the SC Elite version 5, and the brand has once again swung in the complete opposite direction. New Balance have even said that this is a total transformation of the version 4. So what have we got that's new? In terms of the midsole stack, we've still got 40mm of foam in the heel, but in the forefoot, we actually have 32mm of foam. Now, the version 4 had 36mm of foam. So what's actually happened here is that New Balance have decided to shave 4mm off of the forefoot, which means the heel-to-toe drop has gone from 4mm up to 8mm. Now, this is generally a bit more in line with sort of other traditional popular super shoes on the market. The midsole foam used in the SC Elite version 5 is still 100% PIBA. I would hazard a guess that New Balance have probably reformulated this slightly for the version 5, but they haven't confirmed either way. We also have a full-length carbon plate. That's the Energy Arc technology that New Balance uses, but it is this time around a lot stiffer in the forefoot, so that is to help add a lot more propulsion. The shoe also weighs in slightly lighter than the older version as well. The SC Elite version 5 is 214 grams in a UK size men's 9 versus 237 grams in the older version. So how does the SC Elite version 5 fit? I went for my usual UK 8.5 in the shoe, and I've had no issues with the fit at all. I know New Balance sizing can often be a little bit temperamental lately, but yeah, I found absolutely no issues in terms of length of the toe box. I would say, as I've mentioned already, this is a more, I'd say, traditional, more racy feel to the shoe. It's certainly a lot slimmer. I think we've lost that wider platform that you had on the version 4. So all in all, it is going to feel perhaps a little bit more unstable underfoot. So if you're someone who really likes that stability that I think can be quite rare in a super shoe in the version 4, that is going to be a big change in the latest version. Then, if you are one of those people that struggled with the comfort around the heel collar on the version 4, you'll be very pleased to know there is a lot more padding, not too much padding, but a lot more in terms of comfort around the heel collar. That tongue has been updated as well. I think the tongue on the version 4 just felt a bit sloppy, a bit like an afterthought. So we've had an update there. And then we have a very nice upper as well, a single layer, not flimsy at all, hugs the foot well. Overall, a very nice fit from the SE Elite version 5. Okay, so what is it like to run in the SE Elite version 5? Well, I say straight away, you're going to notice as soon as you put this shoe on that there is a slightly firmer underfoot feel compared to the version 4. Don't get me wrong, it's still very comfortable, but you are going to immediately notice that it is slightly stiffer than the version 4. And when you're on the move, you have got that more ground feel in the forefoot. As I've said, it's also a slightly more nimble and agile shoe than the version 4. Again, these are different sizes, but if you look at the version 4, you'll notice that there is just a lot more foam sort of on the edges here, whereas they've really shaved down the version 5 so that the platform you're actually on is a lot narrower. So again, stability-wise, this is going to feel perhaps a little bit more precarious, but I've definitely not had any issues with sort of how I feel going around corners with confidence in these. I'd say the SE Elite version 5 also feels very light on the foot, perhaps not as lightweight as the likes of the Adios Pro 4 or the Puma Fast R Nitro 3, but all in all, still pretty decent for a super shoe. I mean, 214 grams in a size 9 is still a very lightweight shoe. Definitely a snappier ride overall, and I think if you are someone who enjoyed that perhaps softer, maybe more forgiving feel of the version 4, you'd be better off buying a pair of those while you still can before these go on sale in August. If you are someone that likes a slightly more propulsive, aggressive toe off, a more nimble shoe and a higher heel to toe drop though, which is probably someone like me, then I think you are going to get on really well with these. I would say the changes I'm happy with. I personally prefer the version 5 over the version 4, but like I said, it's not going to suit everyone and every runner. So in terms of how this shoe compares to the competition, I would say that for me, the SE Elite version 5 feels like a slight step behind. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a very nice shoe. I think it's not fast. I think a lot of people will enjoy lacing up in this for race day, half marathons, marathons. But for me, I think when you look at the foams that are coming out of the likes of Nike, Adidas, Puma, they are so much lighter and springier than ever before. And I think this just slightly feels like a step down from that. I think also when you compare the prices, the SE Elite version 5 is going to retail for £260. Now the Adios Pro 4 retails for £220. So a £40 price difference between the two, and I would be more inclined to pick the Adidas Pro 4 over the SE Elite version 5. So for me, £260, I think for what you're getting with the SE Elite, feels maybe ever so slightly over what I think it's worth, but ultimately that's down to you to decide and see what you want in a race day shoe. When we talk about innovation, I think you've also got to consider the fact that you've got brands like Adidas putting out the Pro Evo 2, you've got Asics with the Metaspeed Ray. You know, there's some crazy foams coming out of that, and that again is sort of where I say New Balance feels maybe a little step behind. They've not quite managed to crack that really lightweight, springy, almost mad, like, do I feel safe running in this foam just yet for the top elites. This to me still feels one of the more accommodating shoes that you might find, a little bit more like the SE Elite version 3 perhaps, but with a slightly more aggressive toe off. All in all then, I think this is definitely a lighter, more agile and propulsive shoe compared with the SE Elite version 4. And if you are someone that likes that slightly higher heel to toe drop and you like that sense of ground feel in the forefoot, I think you're going to get on very well with this shoe. If you are someone who actually prefers that slightly softer feel of more foam beneath your feet and you liked that wider base of the version 4, I think you might not get on so well with this shoe because they are very different. For me, I think it feels like New Balance has sort of been figuring out where they want to land in the super shoe space over the past few years, and I don't know whether they're going to stick with what they found in the SC Elite version 5 or whether we're going to see a different shoe entirely again with the version 6. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for more running shoe reviews from the Runner's World